On this episode of Code Blue in America, the breaking news segment, we dive straight into the chaos as Admiral Bradley marches onto Capitol Hill for the high-stakes, high-tension briefing on that bizarre boat strike scandal. Buckle in, because the water is choppy and the truth is wearing a life jacket. Then we turn the spotlight to Congress as Hakeem Jeffries swings for the fences, accusing the administration of living on lies, and trust us, he brought enough receipts to start a CVS pharmacy. And finally, we wrap this episode with the White House press secretary's eyebrow-raising quip on the boat bombing story, a one-liner so wild, it deserves its own investigation. Admiral Bradley has marched onto Capitol Hill with General Dan Kane, like two men heading into a group chat they can't leave. Lawmakers want answers about that September boat strike, the one that started as a drug bust and ended like a rejected scene from Narcos, Navy Edition. Now everyone's waiting to see if Bradley spills the tea on Hegseth and Trump, or if he locks his jaw tighter than the Pentagon's Wi-Fi password. Meanwhile, Republicans are suddenly promising vigorous oversight, which is rich coming from a Congress that's been politically flatlined for 2 years. Will Bradley talk? Will he clam up? Or will he accidentally blame it on bad GPS? Stay tuned, this show is juicier than a congressional cafeteria steak.
The White House is lying, but that's no surprise, because they lie for a living.
Then someone asked what Democrats would do about Hegseth and the president issuing an illegal second, finish them off, kill order if they ever win the House back. Representative Jeffries didn't even bother with subtlety. He shredded the White House and the Department of War like expired paperwork.
The White House is lying, but that's no surprise, because they lie for a living, and the American people know it. It's my understanding that Pete Hegseth, the so-called Secretary of Defense, was absolutely involved. I think he may have even recently acknowledged that, because the facts are incapable of being disputed.
They lie for a living, he said. And honestly, where is the lie? But let's be sincere here for 2 seconds. Should America really be waiting on the opposition party to deliver accountability when we're already knee-deep in an avalanche of alleged lawbreaking? Isn't it time for the Republican Congress to wake up, wrestle their balls back from Trump's grip, and actually rescue the country? When do they finally put their egos second and the country first, no matter the cost? Because seriously, how long can this country function under what Jeffries calls a woefully unqualified administration? So, a few days ago, Hegseth and the president were out here with their heads on fire because a few Democratic lawmakers told service members they don't have to obey unlawful orders. Suddenly, every MAGA warrior I know crawled out of the cave yelling treason like it was a national sport. Heck, even Stephen A. Smith magically transformed from ESPN's loudest bubblehead into a political analyst, screaming like someone stole his hairline. And then, plot twist, turns out the president and Hegseth were actually the ones handing out illegal orders the whole time. Yep. We reported the Washington Post exclusive. But, hey, don't take our word for it. The White House press secretary basically confirmed it herself.
President Trump and Secretary Hegseth have made it clear that presidentially designated narco-terrorist groups are subject to lethal targeting in accordance with the laws of war. With respect to the strikes in question on September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated. And I would just add one more point to remind the American public why these lethal strikes are taking place. Because this administration has designated these narco-terrorists as foreign terrorist organizations. The president has a right to take them out.
From everything she said, you can hear loud and clear. Yep, they did that. Now, imagine listening to her try to sell this bombing as some heroic mission to take out narcotic terrorists threatening America. I mean, isn't that hilarious? Because didn't the president just pardon a drug dealer? So we're blowing up petty small-town drug peddlers, but giving the ringleader a presidential high five? Make it make sense. From Admiral Bradley's stormy arrival, to Jeffries lighting up Capitol Hill, to the press secretary delivering comedy in the middle of a crisis, this episode has reminded us once again that America never runs out of emergencies or material. And that is the cold truth on Code Blue in America, only on OGM News. It's been me, Alex, saying, see you again soon.
All right, friends, here's the deal. We need your support to level up our game. How can you help? Simple. Like, share, and drop a comment. Shower us with your love, your applause, or even your brutally honest displeasure. We can take it, we promise. Your feedback fuels us, even if it stings a little. And before you dash off, go ahead and smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Stay awesome, stay witty, and we'll see you next time.